Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this updated video on the tropics. It is Sunday, November 6th, 2022. Before we jump into anything, please ensure that you guys like the video and subscribe and tap the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I post a brand new video. Let's jump right into it. So before we even talk about what's happening in the weather, there's a lot of video online circulating from the Dominican Republic, even other islands, maybe even Puerto Rico, of flooding that took place. All of this has to do with what actually happened with the trough mingling with the tropical wave in the Eastern Caribbean. So just to show that it doesn't take a tropical system, a tropical wave, a tropical depression, a tropical storm, or a hurricane to cause flooding. All of these can cause a lot of flooding. And we've had our fair share of flooding in Jamaica from troughs before. So it's nothing new. Here we have video footage showing what looks like some people were trying to get water out of their building. Next one. All right, so here we have video footage of what looks like a car that was inundated. There were even some people who lost their lives in some of this as well. Here's another one right here showing people who are wading through flooded waters. Guys, remember, if you're in a flood, turn around, don't drown. And here's one video in Puerto Rico. So this shows that the Puerto Ricans had their fair share of flooding across their island as well. So what are the significant features across the entire basin this morning? So we have a trough to the west of Florida. The area of low pressure is still located to the east of the Dominican Republic, even although we have a lot of clouds off to the east and the northeast of it being sheared off. Here we have it right here on the visible satellite loop. And see the sun rising, see the blue, that's signaling where it is sunning at this time. So we can still see that we have a lot of clouds to the north of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and the northeastern Caribbean. Most of it is clearing out. We still have some clouds stringing along from the northern coast of South America, southwesterly flow towards the Eastern Caribbean. So we might have some more rainfall for those guys to receive. We also have what is designated as Invest 97L right here. Almost forgot about that. And that is still forecast to become something, whether it's a tropical storm or a hurricane. Right now it's being sheared off. We'll talk more about the shear soon. So here we have the close-up satellite image. We can actually see the spin right here and all of the wind shear coming in from the west, pushing all of those high cold cloud tops, deep convection towards the east. So it is, causing it to struggle to develop into a tropical storm. Either way, it is still expected to move to the northwest and then to the northeast. And then we can see that the intensity goes up according to the EPS. So it could be as green, tropical storm, or even yellow, hurricane, some of it even taking it up to maybe category 2 strength in the orange. What does the GEFS show? Something similar. Move it off to the northwest, then to the northeast, possibly becoming a tropical storm, even a few hurricanes in there as well in the yellow. That's why the U.S. National Hurricane Center, let's see if they've updated it yet. No, they haven't. Still, it gives it a high chance. Going to the northwest later on down the road, they're not really sure, but it's still in the next couple of days expected to develop and move to the northwest. The other entity in the Caribbean, still, as I said, east of the Dominican Republic, even although most of the clouds are being blown off towards the north and east, it is still expected to develop in that area in the southwestern Atlantic. So maybe the Bahamas, whatever the case may be. Either way, somebody's going to be affected, whether it's the Bahamas, Florida, the Southeast United States. We shall see what unfolds. All right, so here are the satellite images. You can see all of those deep convection still affecting portions of the Lesser Antilles. Puerto Rico got their fair share of flooding. They are out of the woods for the most part now. Still have some rainfall in parts of Anguilla, maybe St. Bart's, and they are still going to be getting some more rain in the Lesser Antilles today. So Antigua, Barbuda, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, we could still be getting some more rainfall today. Here's the shear map, just like what was said. We can see all of the top of the clouds, the colors being pushed off to the north and east. That's according to the shear map. Remember, shear is what prohibits these systems from developing. When we have less shear in the whites, then, all systems go. It develops as quick, sometimes even rapidly developing. All right, moving on, let's look at the ECMWF forecast. This is where it is forecast to go during the next couple of days, as predicted in the past couple of days, making a turn towards the left to the west, affecting the Bahamas and making its way into maybe into Florida. So Jamaicans and persons of the Caribbean who are in Florida should take the necessary precautions. We have something that's coming your way. What does the GFS show? Something very similar, making its left turn and coming right into the state of Florida. So hopefully people take the necessary precautions so that they won't be affected to that effect. Let's look at the wind forecast, shall we? So we all know that the wind, when we're expecting high wind, we usually see the yellows or even the reds or the purples. This is where the strongest winds are located this morning, Sunday morning. On Monday, let's see what happens. Most of it is off to the east of the United States. Tuesday, look at this area right here, according to the Euro. Lots of northeasterly winds coming in to portions of Florida and offshore areas. And any ships that are in that area, they're going to be in for a rough ride, especially small boats. And then when it comes inland now, we see where the circulation is trying to tighten up and the entire state of Florida might be affected. What does the GFS show? Something very similar. On Tuesday now, see lots of dark reds and maybe even purples in there to signal strong winds, anything from 20 to 40 knots. Then on Thursday is where it actually goes in and affect the entire state of Florida. You have a lot of bad weather coming. Strong winds, heavy rain. Please ensure that you listen to your local officials and take the necessary precautions. Okay, we don't want anyone dying, just like what happened in Ian. Even if the storm isn't as robust, maybe a category 4, we can still have impacts, okay? All right, so take the necessary precautions. All right, so let's talk about the next 24 hours where it's going to be raining, shall we? So we see that we still have some more rain, even though most of the clouds are, making their way out, we still have some more rain being forecasted by the ECMWF. So this ends at 0Z on Monday. That is 7 p.m. Eastern time. 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Okay, so all of this rain is still expected to come in to portions of Puerto Rico and the northern and the eastern Caribbean. So the U.S. Virgin Islands, Barbuda, Antigua, and so on. And we can actually see the same stream of cloud that I mentioned from the satellite image coming in from this northern coast of South America towards the eastern Caribbean. So even persons in Aruba and Curacao, Bonaire are getting in on some of that rainfall. But does the GFS show? Something very similar. Lots of this rain across the eastern Caribbean, pushing its way northward. All right, we can also look at the satellite image right now. We see where all the lightning is. We can also see that stream of clouds pushing in from the southwest to the northeast to affect more portions of the eastern Caribbean as well. And even on Doppler radar, we can see most of it is clearing out now, but more rain is still to come. All right, so what's happening across Jamaica this morning? Let's take a look, shall we? So we see some clouds offshore, north of Portland right there. Majority of the country looks clear at this time. What do the Doppler radar images show? So we can see wherever we saw those clouds, we have a few showers right here in green and yellow. Maybe that's light moderate rainfall. That way we don't have much of anything happening across the island. So where are the winds coming from? We see that east of Cuba, we have some of those winds coming in from the northeast. Same thing across the Cayman Islands. Jamaica, looks like we're having variable wind. We don't have much wind. What we usually expect to have afternoon showers is having some wind, and then most of those winds would cause the clouds to pile up over the part of the island where there's lighter wind, and then wherever the lighter wind is located, that's where it would rain. But with a setup like this, today is expected to be quite hot. And when it comes to the buildup of clouds in the afternoon, it might be a challenge. But it won't be as robust as what we had yesterday. I saw the Euro shows. What does the GFS show? GFS shows some of these winds coming in from the west or the northwest. We shall see what actually unfolds. So if it's actually coming from the west or northwest, that means anything that should pile up would be across portions of central and eastern Jamaica. And not to mention the wind shear map. The wind shear map has the shear coming in from the north. So if anything should develop across the island during the day convection-wise, it would be pushed out toward the south. So the rainfall and the overcast skies would be along the south coast specifically. What does the Euro show at 4 p.m. Eastern time? So it's Sunday, November 6th, and they've changed. So most of the persons who own a computer or a laptop will realize that their clocks or their phones are telling a different time from their laptop or computer. So they know they have to change their times today. So we're back on Eastern Standard Time. So at 4 p.m. today, we could experience some clouds and showers across portions of south central and southeastern parishes. So, you know, it has some blues in the northern portion. Remember what I said about the shear being, pushing off everything to the south. So in case anything develops, if not part of the cloudy skies, it's going to be across central and eastern parts of the island, according to the Euro. What does the GFS show? The GFS shows not much, but we still have something across the east. So there's the agreement right there. So portions of St. Thomas, according to the GFS, and portions of, I don't know, maybe even Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew according to the Euro. We shall see what actually unfolds. Either way, try to stay safe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please ensure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Do take care. Bye.